Legendary and multiple Academy Award winner special effects makeup and creature effects artist Rick Baker has announced his retirement from filmmaking. Baker said the following: "First of all, the CG stuff definitely took away the animatronics part of what I do. It's also starting to take away the makeup part. The time is right. I am 64 years old and the business is crazy right now. I like to do things right and they wanted cheap and fast. That is not what I want to do. So I just decided it is basically time to get out. I would consider designing and consulting on something, but I don't think I will have a huge working studio anymore." Baker's work can be seen in Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, American Werewolf in London, Michael Jackson's Thriller music video, Men in Black, Hellboy, Maleficent, and many, many more. Christian, what do you think of Rick Baker's retirement and his reasoning for his exit?
Got 3 words: mad respect, yo. It makes me sad to hear it, but yeah, why just sit in? The guy was so great at what he did. Why sit in something that's obviously making him miserable? Saying it in the nicest way possible, and most professional way possible in those quotes, but he is clearly like, this is not what I know. This is not what I want to be a part of. And he's getting out. I like the fact that he'll still be an advisor. I think that it would benefit them to have him as an advisor. But the game has changed, and he said it as much too. It's just a lot different now, and there is an overuse sometimes mostly I think a lot of times maybe overuse CGI sometimes, but it seems like there are more filmmakers now that are trying to do a blend of getting back to practical and CGI. And you can't do one or the other. It just doesn't work. And yeah, I love the fact that he said, I can't work cheap and fast, not what I do, so I'm going to step back. I respect it.
Alicia?
Yeah, it's really sad. He is one of the masters in the business. I was lucky I got to go and visit his studio before it closed down. He had to lay off all his staff, but I visited it for Men in Black 3. And just seeing all the work that they did for that movie and all the animals and the monsters, the aliens, the detail that's involved and the time it takes. It's a long time. He also seemed like he had the best Halloween parties ever because he had this whole graveyard set up just for his Halloween parties. I would have loved to go to one of his Halloween parties. But yeah, it's really sad. It just shows how the industry has changed. But I can see a time when maybe a director will pull him back in to be an advisor or to create something specifically for a movie. I agree with you that it should be a blend between CGI and animatronics. I mean, sometimes animatronics and makeup is going to work better and sometimes CG is going to work better. But it'd be sad if animatronics go away completely. But his legacy will live on in all the movies he's done.
Yeah, it's sad, but unfortunately it's a reality of today's movie landscape because everyone wants it fast and cheap. And you know the saying, it's like fast, cheap, and good. You can only pick 2. And apparently they're picking fast and cheap. I mean, not to say I'm not against CG. I think CG can work, and CG works in stuff. A lot of stuff you can't do practically, right? But I think, like you guys mentioned, blending the two I think is the best. And I feel like we're leaning a little too heavy on CG stuff, and I feel like maybe, I don't know.
Don't you feel like we're in an age to where it seems like more direct? Like look at Mad Max, look what they're doing with Star Wars. It seems like it's starting. It's the really good filmmakers are starting to do this as opposed to the lazy ones that are just doing this.
Yeah, well, like with Mad Max, George Miller was saying it's thanks to CG that he can do all the practical stunts because now you can do things where you can erase the harness.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's good to have that mixture.
I mean, those are the examples, but I feel like, we see just I watched San Andreas. Obviously, that's something that cannot be done practically, Right. So I feel like Avengers: Age of Ultron was like mostly CG. A lot of that stuff you cannot do practically. But I feel like once you get into that mode of doing mostly CG, then there's certain things that you probably could do practically, but then you just choose not to, and you're like, forget it. I'll just do it.
Look at the Hobbit movies.
Yeah,
because you compare like what he did in Lord of the Rings, which was I thought perfect blend, and then just relied too much on CG in the Hobbit movies. So that's where you go, like, it's that blend.
Yeah, that's a great example.